All right, what is going on, guys? We should be live now. Let me just fix everything here. Yeah, let me make sure that looks good. Okay, I think we're all right. Um, okay, give me 1 sec here. Let me tweet out the live stream, and then we can get into it. Let's see. Come on. Hope you guys all had a good day. Yesterday was a pretty solid day for me. Go back to the advertising. We did just get some big news, obviously, with Jamal Murray being out, so we'll talk about that in a sec. Um, yeah, bear with me for 1 second here. All right, let me tweet this out. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go over the news we got so far today. Jake Anderson with the $5 super chat again, man. Thank you, 2 for 2. Let's get it. Yeah, let's keep it going, man. Tonight or yesterday was pretty solid. Nurkic was huge at low ownership, and then obviously the Rockets Mavs game was high owned, but I was always like get your studs in that game. So Shields is the worst player in the league. Yeah, that Nets game, you got a bit unlucky with Nets players. Luckily, I only had Jared Allen. I mentioned I was fading LeVert, but I was scared about it. Just the blowout really killed a lot of them. So literally, like none of the main guys played in the fourth quarter. It was all like some players that I haven't even heard of were getting time. So let's. What's up, DK? Love and Kawhi and PG stack. Yes, right now I do really like the Clippers. And then there's some value with Denver, obviously, now, and then value with the Utah guards, in my opinion. Utah guards are still way too cheap here. So let's go over it. Brogdon, Oladipo went through shoot around. Again, one more time, though. Thank you, Jake Anderson. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, all right. So Brogdon, Oladipo went through shoot around. I assume they're going to go. They did mention that Brogdon will be slightly limited. I assume Oladipo probably would too. So don't know if I would really target those guys. They're saying Oladipo game time decision, so obviously we got to keep an eye on that. And then Jamal Murray ruled out. We already have no Barton. We already have no Gary Harris. So Denver is really thin. So yeah, Monte Morris obviously is the guy that stands out to me the most with no Jamal Murray out. I think he's probably your top value of the slate right now. But Michael Porter Jr., Mike Malone's somehow going to find a way to not give him minutes. But all jokes aside, I do think like Porter Jr. has to play at least 20 minutes. Like I don't see a way around it. Like sure, he can give gross Torrey Craig some run. Will Bull get some minutes? Like I think Bull actually might crack the rotation here. So, yeah, and then obviously Jokic, too, gets a huge boost with no Jamal Murray, with no Will Barton. So that's what we got so far. If you see me look at my phone, too, I'm entering some contests. I kind of forgot to enter some stuff last night. So I'll be kind of doing that as I give you guys the breakdown here. But, yeah, let's go over the odds. So we have the Heat and the Nuggets. It's a 215 over under. The Heat are only 4.4-point favorites. I think that line's got to move now with no Jamal Murray, but you never know. And then we have Jazz Thunder, 216.5 over under. The Thunder are 1-point favorites. We have the Pelicans and the Clippers. That is a 232.5 over under. It's going up. Clippers are 5-point favorites. I mean, I feel like Kawhi and Paul George look really good there. I do currently have both those guys in. Those are kind of my studs right now. 76ers and Pacers sitting at 220 over under. The 76ers are 6-point favorites. I'll talk about it in a bit more at the end, but my original lineup had both Miles Turner and TJ Warren in. Now I don't have both because there's a lot of value opening up, and it's leaning towards more just that stars and scrubs build, right? So I still do like Miles Turner and TJ Warren a lot, but I'm always straight up with you guys. They're currently not in my lineup right now. And then Lakers, Raptors, 222 over under. The Lakers are 3-point favorites. So I'll keep checking Fantasy Labs every 5 minutes or so, see if we got an update. But yeah, if you guys are new to the live stream, basically what I'll do is I'll just give you guys a team-by-team breakdown. I'll give you guys kind of cash game plays, GPP plays I'll mention throughout the live stream, and then I'll answer any questions you guys have at the end. But if you guys do enjoy all this free content, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Or like button on the live stream, I should say. All right, let's do it. So let's start with Miami here. Miami's a team that I think is fully healthy. I don't think they're missing anyone. Yeah, so they're fully healthy. We have Bam and Adebayo coming in at 8-1 once it loads. I have a little bit of interest here in Bam. Let's see. What we know with Bam is he's going to play probably 35 minutes. They're going to need him out there to guard Jokic. My one concern is just foul trouble concerns defending Jokic. Like, there is a chance he does get in foul trouble. But the 8.1K price point, I think, looks pretty good. So I have interest in Bam. I don't think he's like my best play of the slate or my favorite play of the slate, but I still think he looks pretty decent. Kind of same thing with Jimmy Butler too at 7-6. They're a fully healthy team now, but I don't think that's really going to affect the minutes for Bam. Like, Bam and Jimmy will still get their minutes. They'll still probably get 35 minutes. Yeah, 7-6 just seems okay, right? I don't think he's an amazing play, but not the worst play either. The value with Miami is to stay away from me. I don't think I would target anyone else. They're fully healthy. Like, sure, Duncan Robinson can get hot behind the three-point line, but 5.5K, I don't know if I want to pay that much for him. Like, Nunn and Dragic are usually guys I go to if, like, one or the other are out or, like, Jimmy's out. Again, everyone fully healthy. I'm going to stay away from Nunn. I'm going to stay away from Dragic. I don't think we have to play Jay Crowder or Airplane Mode or Iguodala or Tyler Hero. It's Bam and Jimmy for me, and that's it. And I think Bam and Jimmy are solid, but I don't think like they're the best plays either. So let's go to Denver now. So this is the team we got to focus on. Let's refresh Fantasy Labs. I don't think we have the starting lineup yet. No, not yet. So we have no Jamal Murray, no Will Barton, no Gary Harris. Those three all played huge minutes. Like, Murray played 35 plus, Barton around 35, Gary Harris like 30 to 35 minutes. So that's huge, right? And Barton and Jamal Murray are pretty high usage guys. So Jokic is a guy that, in my opinion, I think really stands out now at 9K. With all three of those guys out, he's going to have to do a lot offensively. Like, I don't think we're going to get one of those backseat Jokic games. I mentioned that in my video. Like, some games he will just kind of take a backseat. I think he has to be aggressive here with those three guys out. So love Jokic now. I think he is up there with the two Clippers forwards with Kawhi and Paul George as my favorite spend-ups right now. So love Jokic here. Am I worried about the blowout? Sure. Like, that's in the back of my mind. It is only a 4-point spread still, but I could see it happening right with those three guys out for Denver. But I'm not gonna get off Jokic because I'm like slightly worried of maybe a blowout. So yeah, really do like Jokic here. I think he's one of the top spend-ups of the day. Paul Millsap at 4.9, I think becomes a little bit more viable. My concern is they just have, like, their forwards are healthy. Their forwards and bigs are healthy. So Jeremy Grant healthy, Mason Plumlee healthy. Like, will Bull get some run at min price? Like I said, he looked good in the scrimmages, and we just don't know if he's for sure going to be in the rotation. So Millsap just one of those. If you land on it, that's fine. But I think there's better plays for their prices. And I'm just still a little worried with the minutes with Millsap, right? Because Jeremy Grant's there. They've kind of been splitting the minutes. They have Mason Plumlee. So I'm not like overly excited there about Millsap. Kind of same thing with Jeremy Grant too at 4K. I just don't really think he stands out. The guys that get the big boost here is Monte Morris at 3.5. He arrived late in the quarantine. I mean, again, they don't really have a whole lot of options, so I don't think they're going to limit his minutes. I assume he's going to start a point guard. If he starts a point guard, I think he's one of the better value plays, if not the best value play of the day at 3.5. I mean, again, someone has to get the run. I assume he probably gets 25 to 30 minutes at least at point guard. And he's like, when he gets time, like he's normally a pretty productive guy. And again, a lot of guys out now for Denver. So I think Monte Morris is probably your top value play. Plumlee again is, don't think we have to do it. But Michael Porter Jr. at 3K, I think he has to get minutes. I really do. I think there's a chance he even starts. I think at least 20 minutes for Michael Porter Jr. I think he could play over 30 too. At min price, I think he is also one of your top value plays of the day. So those two guys I think are the best value right now with Monte Morris, with Michael Porter Jr. So if I was starting a cash game lineup, even a GPP lineup, I think you start your lineup with those two guys. Again, I really do think they are the best value of the day right now. Unless Mike Malone does something really, really weird, and we know Mike Malone, for some reason, doesn't want to play Michael Porter Jr. ever. Like, he'll probably somehow give, like, Troy Daniels run or Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig's at min price, too. He will get good minutes. Now, he's kind of like a Royce O'Neal. He's out there more for his defense, but if he's going to start and play, like, 30 minutes, I think you can consider him. It's just, I like targeting players a little bit better offensively. So, again, guys like Monte Morris, guy like Michael Porter Jr., will Keita Bates-Diop be in the rotation? He could, honestly. I don't think I would target him, though. Like, I think Porter Jr. would play ahead of him. PJ Dozier, I think, will get some backup minutes. He could even start at point guard. Don't really know for sure. So, got to keep an eye on this. But PJ Dozier, when he gets minutes, he's actually pretty decent, too. So, I would consider him. That's more of just a GPP contrarian play because we know so much ownership is going to go to Monte Morris, so much ownership is going to go to Michael Porter Jr., whereas PJ Dozier could go forgotten about. And even, I know, Bull, it's crazy, but I think he is in consideration today. Now, the minutes are just the big question mark. How many minutes he's going to get? Are they comfortable giving him minutes at the 3? I mean, we saw him literally play at the 3 in the scrimmages. Because, again, all the bigs are healthy. So I don't know if he's going to play a lot at the 4 and the 5 because we have Jokic, Plumlee, Millsap, Jeremy Grant, all healthy. Will Bull get run at the 3? I think it's a possibility. He is a guy that is productive when he gets time. I have no idea if he's going to even for sure be in the rotation. But, so brief recap here. I think your cash game plays for Denver are Jokic, Monte Morris, and Michael Porter Jr., and I think you do play all 3 of those guys in cash. I really do. There are some other options. Like, if you land a Millsap, that's fine, but my reasoning is their bigs are basically healthy. But other options, like Torrey Craig, I think is in play, even though he's not the best offensive player. I think PJ Dozier is interesting contrarian option off of Monte Morris. And then, Bull, I think it is in play, too. We just don't know what the minutes are going to be like for him. Let's move on to Utah OKC. Let me refresh Fantasy Labs again. Let me keep entering some contests. Let's see. Still don't have it yet. So lock is in 30 minutes. I assume we get the starting lineup in the next 10 minutes or so. So let's go now to Utah. So Utah's a team I really like again today. They were a team in the first slate and the 2-game slate that I was super high on. I'm super high on them again. They ran a 9-man rotation, but Tony Bradley didn't play a lot. Again, he's going to back up Gobert. He's going to play about 15 minutes or so. Don't think we have to go there. Gorgeous Niang, kind of the same thing, 12, 15 minutes. Again, don't think we have to go there. And then Moutier did crack the rotation too, but didn't play a whole lot, 10 minutes. So they basically run a 6-man rotation here with Clarkson, O'Neal, Conley, Ingles, Mitchell, and Gobert. I love the guards today. I really, really like Conley at 5'4". For some reason, his price went down $800. He's going to have to play 30-plus minutes. He's at a 5.4K price point. No Bogdanovich. I love Conley. I love Donovan Mitchell here at 6'9". Who's going to have to do, again, more offensively with no Bogdanovich. He's going to get big minutes. And then same thing with Jordan Clarkson at 3'9". I don't know why his price went down. He's going to have to play big minutes as well. I think he get close to 30 again from him. Now, sure, he had a good shooting day, but I just think the price point and the minutes will be there for Clarkson. So Really do like Clarkson, really like Conley, really like Mitchell. I think you can play all three. My first build, I did have all three guys in my lineup, but obviously with the Jamal Murray news out, I had to get Monte Morris in there. So, but I just really love these Utah guards. I think they're way too cheap. They're going to run a thin rotation again. Like, sure, it will be a 9-man rotation, but Moutier, Niang, Bradley won't play a whole lot. So the main core guys are going to get big run. Yeah, like I said, I'm really high in those three guards. Gobert at 7K, I think goes forgotten about on the slate. There are some really solid center options. We have Embiid, Jokic, Bam at the top. We have a guy like Miles Turner in the mid-range, who I like a lot. So yeah, Gobert goes forgotten about. I think he's more just a contrarian play. Again, I really do like the guards. I would prioritize them. Ingles at 5'5". I prefer him to Royce O'Neal at 4'8". I know Royce O'Neal had a solid game, played 35 minutes, but he's just out there more for his defense. I need to see him play like this consistently offensively before I can target Royce O'Neal like confidently. So I would much rather get to Ingles, who was in a little bit of foul trouble, did miss out in a few minutes that last game. Still played 32. He didn't have the best game. Like normally Ingles is a guy that will do a little bit more with rebounds, assists, and what I like about him too is he's a really good three-point shooter. So if he's shooting the ball well, he can have upside to get you like 40-plus fantasy points. So I like Ingles, more contrarian play though, again, because I just really do want to prioritize the guards. So that's really it for Utah. Again, really high on them. I love the guard play. On the OKC side, OKC, I know I say this a lot, but they're just always a team that if you land on anyone, it's fine, but I don't know if anyone really stands out here. You have CP3 at 7'4", SGA at 6'8", Schroeder at 6'6", Gallinari at 5'6". We know where the production's coming from, right? It's those four guys. They're just a little bit more spread out. Like, no one really ever takes over for this OKC team. It's not really the best matchup. I don't know. Like, I'm personally not going to play any of them. Like, Gallinari, if you landed him for cash, I think that's fine. He's going to get about 30 or so minutes. He'll probably get you 25 to 35 fantasy points. I'm okay with that if you want to go there for cash games. Adams and Noel are kind of splitting the center minutes. Like, I would prefer getting to Noel actually over Steven Adams. I mean, he'll probably get 15 to 20 minutes, whereas Steven Adams will probably get 25 or so. Yeah, I'm not going to get to Adams. I mean, maybe a dart throw in Noel, but with the value opening up in the slate, I don't really think that's necessary. So, all in all, OKC is basically a full fade for me. If you land on one of the guards, that's okay. If you land on Gallinari for cash, fine. But, yeah, not prioritizing anyone here for OKC. Let's go over, refresh this. Got to have a Denver lineup soon. Oh, here we go. All right. So, Monte Morris, Torrey Craig, Michael Porter Jr., Millsap, and Jokic. That's kind of what we expected there. So my thoughts are, again, you play Monte Morris, you play Michael Porter Jr. for value. I think they're the two top value plays in the day. Can you play Torrey Craig too? Yeah, you can. You can play Torrey Craig. Again, PJ Dozier and Bol are my GPP contrarian plays. If you want to get different and want to take a shot on someone low owned, it's going to be Dozier for me, and it's going to be Bol. I think Bol will probably get some ownership just because of the name and people really want to play him. But don't forget about PJ Dozier. I think he will get some decent run here. And then obviously, again, I talked about Jokic. I really like him. I think he has to be a lot more aggressively offensive. Or it has to be aggressive offensively. Sorry. So yeah, I do really like the Denver side. All right, let's move on to New Orleans and the Clippers. First, we'll talk about the Pelicans side here. Honestly, I'm not overly excited about the Pelicans. It is a really high over-under. Zion's going to be limited, so do not play Zion here. He's going to be in a minutes limit. He only played 15. I couldn't believe that they limited him to 15 minutes. But yeah, don't play Zion. There's just no reason to at that price. Lonzo, Ingram, and Drew, I could see getting to one of those guys if you want to go. If you're playing like both Paul George and Kawhi, and you want to get some exposure on the opposite side, I think that's fine, right? So if you get to Drew, Lonzo, or Ingram, I think that's okay. I think Drew had the best game last game. All three will play big minutes with Zion being limited, and their usage will go up a little bit. Lonzo had a terrible shooting day. If you want to go for a low own, he was also in foul trouble, so don't be worried about those 27 minutes. Favors, that's kind of just a low own play as well, but he'll probably get 25 to 30 minutes with Zion being limited. He did have a kind of a bad day for his standards, only 2, 8, 1, and 3. Normally, he's a little bit more productive, and his price went down. So Favors as a GPP dart throw there. I don't mind that. And then Redick, I think, will garner some ownership at 3.5, but now the ownership will go down, in my opinion, because we have the super chalk Denver guys. So I still think Redick's okay. Again, he probably gets around 25 minutes. He's out there for his three-point shooting, so it is always a little bit riskier targeting him because if his shot is not falling, he has a super, super low floor, right? If his threes aren't falling, he can get you like under 10 fancy points. But I think he is in play there still. And then that's really it for the Pelicans for me. Let me see what I got entered now. Sorry, guys. Again, I'm trying to enter contest 2. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, let's go to the Clippers now. So, Clippers are a team I'm really, really high on. I think this is not a super hot take with me really liking Kawhi and Paul George. I think they're also going to be popular. In my opinion, this slate in general is going to be pretty chalky now that we have a lot of Denver chalk. I think the Utah guards will be pretty chalky. Again, I really like them. And then I think the Clippers forwards here with Kawhi and Paul George will also get a lot of ownership. So, love both these guys. Kawhi was in foul trouble the last game, still played 33 minutes. Still no Lou, still no Montrez. They have to do more offensively. My one slight concern is maybe they limit their minutes a little bit here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that we would get some sort of news from Doc Rivers if he was going to limit Kawhi and Paul George. So love Kawhi, love Paul George. I think you can play both these guys. If you had to only pick one, I think I would slightly lean towards Kawhi, even though he's $1,000 more. I think I like the upside a little bit more, but really do like both those guys. They're two of my top spend ups of the day. Again, no Montrez, no Lou. The center rotation is, it's kind of a headache. We have Zubac, we have Noah, we have JaMychal Green that'll get run. I think Zubac's okay, but just a GPP contrarian play. Again, he was in a little bit of foul trouble, still played 15 minutes. I think if he didn't get in foul trouble, we might have got like 20 or so minutes from Zubac. But 4.6K, right? He's not really the best value. Marcus Morris, he lets a lot of people down. Luckily, I did not get on him, but he was in foul trouble, only played 19 minutes. You got to assume if he stays out of foul trouble, probably gets closer to 30 minutes. So it's all about your risk tolerance, I guess. You know Marcus Morris is going to be super, super low owned. Reggie, I still have interest in as a value guard here, 4-1. But I prefer Clarkson at a similar price. Clarkson's 3.9, Reggie's 4.1. Now, Reggie did play 34 minutes, and it's a really good matchup here. So I think Reggie is still one of the better value plays of the day. The concern is Pat Beverly is healthy, right? Now, Pat Beverly was in a little bit of foul trouble. They played them alongside each other a little bit. I would prefer Reggie to Pat Beverly. I think it's a good match, but I still think Reggie will get solid minutes. I think he gets close to 30 minutes again here. So 4-1, I think Reggie is a pretty solid value. JaMychal Green, I think, is okay for value too at 3.5, played 29 minutes. Now, again, we had a lot of foul trouble with Zubac, with Noah. But it's good to see that he got 29 minutes. I think we probably get somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes from JaMychal Green in this one. Great matchup. So I think he's in play too for value. So I wouldn't get to Pat Patterson. Noah only got 10 minutes. Not enough for me to consider him. So all in all for me, for the Clippers, it's Kawhi, it's Paul George. I think they're two of the top spin-ups of the day. And then value options, I think it's Reggie, and I think it's JaMychal Green for me. Next, let's go to Philly and the Pacers. So we have basically a fully healthy Philadelphia team. And Glenn Robinson, I think, is doubtful, but he's not a guy that's going to play big minutes anyway. We have, again, Embiid healthy, Ben Simmons healthy, Horford and Tobias healthy, Josh Richardson healthy, Shake Milton's there. So I'm just going to say, like, Richardson for value, I think, is okay at 4.4, but now, again, Shake Milton, they seem pretty comfortable giving him some minutes. They have Alec Burks and get runs, so I'm a little bit worried about Josh Richardson's minutes. I think Thibault might be in the rotation. Tobias and Horford prices are up with no Ben Simmons. Now Ben Simmons is again healthy. I have no interest in Horford, no interest in Tobias Harris. The two guys I'm looking to here are Embiid and Ben Simmons. And I would say it's kind of my same analysis for the top two Miami guys with Jimmy Butler and Bam. I think they're solid. I don't think they're the best spend-ups. Again, my top spend-ups are Jokic, Kawhi, and Paul George. But if you land in Embiid, if you land in Ben Simmons, that's good with me. Indiana is kind of thin. No Sabonis. If Turner gets in foul trouble, Embiid, again, could feast against the likes of like TJ Leaf or Goga. So I have interest there in Embiid. I think he is solid, right? He'll probably get over 30 minutes. Ben Simmons is a guy that, it's just I like playing him because he does it all: rebounds, assist, scoring. But again, they have a fully healthy team now, 8.6K. Ben Simmons and again, Ben Simmons and Embiid are solid for me, but not my favorite plays. Let's move on to the Pacers. So Pacers, we have no Sabonis. Still sad about that. But Oladipo, Brogdon. Oladipo, they're saying is a game time decision. I think he's going to go. He practiced the last 2 practices. He was in shoot around. Now, how many minutes he's going to play, that's another question. And kind of the same thing with Brogdon, too. Like, if Brogdon wasn't going to be limited, I would love him at this price. But from what we saw, I was doing a little bit of reading. Let's see. They said Brogdon is expected to have a minutes restriction early on during the resume season and is unlikely to play 30 to 35 minutes. So what does that mean exactly? I would say probably 25 or so minutes, maybe a little bit more, right? If I knew Brogdon was going to get his normal run, if I knew he was going to play 35 minutes, he would probably be one of my favorite plays of the day. But I'm a little bit worried that, again, they're just going to limit him a bit. Like they said, Oladipo, I don't know what the minutes are going to be like either. My best guess for Brogdon and Oladipo are probably 25 to 30 minutes. So if you land in one of those guys, that's fine, but I'm just a little bit worried with the minutes for them. The two of my favorite targets here for the Pacers are Miles Turner and TJ Warren. Turner is a guy that just gets a huge bump with no Sabonis, so really do like Miles Turner. I think he gets 35-plus minutes if he stays out of foul trouble. Now, that's a big if, because Joel Embiid, we know, like Philadelphia's offense runs through Joel Embiid, so I am a little bit nervous targeting Turner. Again, full disclosure, I had Turner in originally, but with the news coming out, I rearranged my lineup, and now he's not in. I like him. He'll probably be, like, there's a late slate. I'm going to play Miles Turner in the late slate for sure. Again, I think he's really solid for his price and does have upside if he stays out of foul trouble. Kind of the same thing with TJ Warren. Not a guy I usually get to, but with Sabonis out, that's just huge. Like, Sabonis was such a high usage player in this offense. We have Brogdon, Oladipo, probably going to be limited. Maybe even one of those guys out. But yeah, TJ Warren is a guy that kind of is scoring dependent, but he's going to be shifted down to the 4. I think he gets 35-plus minutes. He's going to have to do more. So really do like TJ Warren. I like Miles Turner. I think they go low-owned on the slate just for the reason of, again, it's going to be a chalky slate, right? There's a lot of people are going to be on the same plays. Jokic, Kawhi, Paul George, the value for Denver, the guards for Utah. So the cash game lineup, in my opinion, kind of makes itself. So Warren, Miles Turner, I like, and I think they go a little bit lower owned. The value here with the Pacers, like Aaron Holiday, I think is going to start. I think he's solid at 4K, but playing alongside Brogdon and Oladipo, he's not going to be the highest usage guy. Now, if one of those guys are out, then I like Holiday a little bit more. The tricky part is, though, this is the second latest game of the slate, so probably not going to get that news until way later. So again, that'll probably be like a late slate play for me with a guy like Aaron Holiday. I think he's pretty good for value, but I would just prefer getting to Jordan Clarkson at a similar price. McConnell at 3.8. Again, if one of those guys are out, I could see him getting 20-plus minutes. He's a guy that kind of will do it all, so a little bit of interest there is going to train and play. TJ Leaf, was Goga out? Let's see, it's questionable for Saturday. So if Goga's out too, I mean, TJ Leaf will, if Turner gets in foul trouble, Embiid will just abuse TJ Leaf. If you want to just go that dart throw and hope Turner gets in foul trouble, yeah, TJ Leaf is going to have to play the center. So, but I'm not going there with confidence. Like a guy like Doug McDermott, again, that's just a dart throw. There is no Sabonis, but I can't really recommend that with confidence. So that's really it for Indy. We have 15 minutes left, so I'm going to try to hurry through this last game. Lakers, Raptors. Let me refresh one more time see if we got any more news. I don't really think we're going to get anything since the early game is at noon Central today. Yep, still just the starting lineup. So Lakers, Raptors, LeBron and AD at 10-9 and 10-4. My same analysis with Miami, my same analysis with Phillies. Top two guys. If you land on those guys, they're fine. I think they're solid. Not my favorite plays, though, for their prices. Kuzma, I think, is an interesting value play at 4-3. Was dealing with a little bit of an ankle injury, but got 32 minutes. Not something we saw from him in the regular season when AD and LeBron are healthy. So if this trend is going to continue, if Kuzma is going to get 30-plus minutes, I think he's a really solid value play. Again, probably a guy I'll look to in the late slate for sure. With AD, with LeBron, who am I going to prefer there? Well, this one's a little bit tricky. I personally would probably now go LeBron. AD had a slightly better game last game. LeBron's a little bit pricier. I think the ownership will drop big time on LeBron. He had a bad shooting day. But, yeah, I would probably go LeBron now over AD. With the value, I don't think we have to do it on this slate. I really don't. This is more just a late slate plays because they're going to run a 10-11 man rotation. So many guys are going to get run, KCP, Green. If I had to target value here in the Lakers, I think it would be McGee, who's probably going to get around 15 minutes. He's normally pretty productive. It would be a guy like Alex Caruso, who probably gets 25 or so minutes back with no Rondo. Again, the minutes went up for him. And then maybe a guy like Dion Waiters, who got hot, but again, he's just so score independent that it makes him a little bit risky. So if you had to make me pick for value for Lakers, I think it would be Caruso, McGee, Dion Waiters, but don't really feel good about it. Again, those would be just more late slate targets. And lastly, Toronto. Toronto's tough because they're now fully healthy, and the prices are up on some of these guys. Like Siakam at 8.4. I don't know if I want to do that with Ibaka and Gasol healthy now. Lowry's at 8K. Yeah, I think there's better plays for their prices. Again, Ibaka at 6.4 with now Gasol healthy. I want to see what the starting lineup is. I think Gasol will probably start and Ibaka will come off the bench. If that's the case, I don't want to pay 6.4K for Ibaka. Van Fleet's at 6.2. That seems kind of about right. Like, I'm not overly excited about that either. OG, there's no way I'm paying 5.7 for him. I'm not getting into any of the value down here. Gasol is the one guy I think looks the best to me right now at 4.5. I'm just a little bit concerned about the minutes. He did play one game back before the break, only got 16. But I assume he's going to get decent run here. They're going to need his defense to guard AD. So Gasol is probably my favorite play here for the Raptors for his price. But that's really it. So let me refresh one more time here. Let me check the Draftkings lobby, see if there's any overlay. I think there might be some overlay again, guys. Let me confirm that. And then we got about a little under 15 minutes for questions. Yeah, I think there is going to be overlay again, guys. So check the DK lobby. 46 out of 58K. Not huge in that big $20 tournament, but there will probably be some. All right, let's get some questions here. So, play Jimmy Butler or no? I think Jimmy Butler's solid. Again, my preferred spend-ups are Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. Go with your gut. I think OKC will be hungry and will ball today. Yeah, go with your gut. I always say that, guys. Like, don't let me talk you off a play if you really like a play, because if that happens and you don't play them and they go off, you're going to feel really, really bad. So always go with your gut. If you like someone that I'm not super high on, play them. I like Butler, decent play, but not a must. Kind of my thoughts, too. Yeah, Monte Morris, Clarkson, George, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic, Butler, Leonard, Miles Turner. Yeah, I like that a good amount. I think it's really, really solid. DK got a core. Yeah, so I'll give you guys a core. It's going to be really chalky, but I think you play Monte Morris, right? I don't think you get cute there. I think you play Michael Porter Jr. as well. And then I think you play, I really like Jokic to spend up with all those guys out. I think he's going to have to do a lot more offensively. And then, I mean, one of the Utah guards or one of the Clippers forwards for me. I'll go value, I guess. I'll go value, so I'll let you guys pick your studs. I'll go Clarkson. So there you go, 7.6K remaining. I think that's your core for like a cash game setting. Butler or Paul George? It's Paul George for me. I just like the matchup better. Would you play AD and Warren or Van Fleet and Embiid? I would play Anthony Davis and TJ Warren there. We're at 200 viewers. Guys, if you're new to the live stream, if you're new to the channel, would appreciate if you could leave a like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have any questions, let me know. Again, I'll be on here for another 10 to 15 minutes answering any questions. Fave, FVV or Turner and GPP, it's going to be Miles Turner. Again, I really like the upside in Turner. My one concern is the foul trouble going up against Embiid. This one is hard. Grant or Millsap? Millsap costs more, but I honestly don't know who will score more. If I had to pick there, I would go Millsap. I think Millsap's a slightly better offensive player. I think both those guys will go a little bit lower owned just because Monte Morris, Michael Porter Jr., and Jokic will garner so much ownership. Turner, SGA, or Van Fleet for cash? I think the best play there is Turner. It's the foul trouble issue that really worries me. So it's your risk tolerance, but I think Turner is the best point per dollar play. With no Sabonis. Butler or Ingram, that's a good one. I think both are really, really similar. I'm going to go Brandon Ingram, but it's really close. And the reason why is just the total, right? 230 plus. I know the Clippers are pretty solid defensively, but no, like Zion being limited is a huge boost to Ingram. So that one's really close with Jimmy and Ingram. I'm going to slightly go Brandon Ingram there. Welcome back, DK. Missed you, man. Was winning 1K plus last night with 3 minutes left, and Harden went off and destroyed my dreams. Dude, kind of the same thing with me. I had Westbrook and Doncic, and Harden went off. I didn't really want overtime. I lost like a good $50 to $100 because of overtime there, even though I had Doncic and Westbrook, just because Harden went off there. Bam or Ingram for cash. Another tough one. I'll go Bam, but it's close. I like both Butler and Ingram, but Butler has easier matchup, I think. Yeah, I think so. Again, like he probably will get Torrey Craig defense. Torrey Craig is a solid defender, but I wouldn't put like too much stock into that. Like I wouldn't like avoid Jimmy Butler because of Torrey Craig. Monte Morris, Mitchell, Simmons, Porter Jr., Jokic, Clarkson, Conley, and Kawhi. Yeah, I think that's a really solid cash lineup. Lowry, Siakam, and Ibaka, or Conley, Ingram, and Bam. Well, yeah, I wouldn't play 3 guys from the Raptors, so it's gonna be Conley, Ingram, and Bam there. Gallinari, Ibaka for utility. Gallinari for me, even though he's cheaper. I'm worried about the Ibaka minutes with Gasol healthy. I think he's going to come off the bench. I think the minutes will definitely go down in Ibaka, probably like 25 or so. So I'm a little bit worried with his minutes. I'm rolling with Monte Morris, Donovan Mitchell, Paul George, Michael Porter Jr., AD, Clarkson, Warren, and Ben Simmons. Yeah, that looks good to me as well. Greatest value in the 50-50, Captain Mo, DK, Heat, Nuggets. I can't look at that, but I think the best value is probably Monte Morris or Michael Porter Jr. Clarkson, let's see. Clarkson, Mitchell, George, Kuzma. Clarkson, Mitchell, George, Kuzma, Jokic, Morris, Kawhi, 5,600 for utility. 5,600 for utility, let's see. Do you have Conley? Clarkson, Mitchell, George. Well, you do have Clarkson and Mitchell. I mean, I think you could play all 3. If you don't want to play all 3, then there's not a whole lot of options there. So, yeah, that's a little bit tricky. Maybe Gallinari, or do you have Gallo? Maybe Gallinari, right? I think he's okay for cash. Yeah, so maybe go there. Best pay up for the whole slate. I think it's close with Jokic or Kawhi. I'm going to go Jokic with all the guys being out, though. Top small forward plays besides Bron and Kawhi, Paul George. Porter Jr. or JaMychal Green. Definitely Porter Jr. there. What about Reggie Jackson for value, or even Green on the Clippers? Yeah, so Reggie and JaMychal Green I like for value. I like the Denver guys more for value, right? Like I prefer Monte Morris. I prefer Michael Porter Jr. And unless you're going just like completely stars and scrubs, then it makes it a little bit tricky to get to Reggie and JaMychal Green. But those would be those are 2 guys that I was on before we got the Jamal Murray news. So I do like them still for value. Butler, Jokic, PG-13, Kawhi is my core studs. Yeah, I like that. Conley, Butler, Kawhi, Warren, Embiid, Clarkson, Joe Ingles, Michael Porter Jr. I'm good at that too. For showdown, I'm going Jokic at 2x, then Bam, Butler, Robinson, MPJ, Dozier, because everyone will have Morris. Yeah, I mean, I like pivoting Dozier as a contrarian option. I think he goes super, super low owned. Let's see. Grant, Kawhi, or Bull, Embiid. I'll go Bull, Embiid, and just hope Bull gets a run. Again, I don't know what the minutes can be like for him, to be honest. Morris, Clarkson, PG-13, Porter, Jokic, Reggie, Kawhi, Embiid. Yeah, I like that a good amount, so no. Do you like Conley and Lowry as my point guards? I'm not a huge fan of Kyle Lowry. I think he's okay. I do really like Michael Conley, though. SGA or Van Fleet is my dilemma, too. That's a tough one. I will go SGA just because everyone's now is healthy for Toronto. Simmons, Ingram, or Kawhi, Butler already at PG-13. I would go Kawhi and Butler there over Simmons and Ingram. 6'2". Let's see, what do you say? Sorry, it's moving kind of fast. 6'2" for utility. Again, let's see, 6'2", utility. Well, let me get off this. That would probably help. 6'2" for utility. Miles Turner, if you don't, I don't know if you have Miles Turner already, but I would go Miles Turner. If you do already have him, then T.J. Warren. Again, I like those forwards and centers for the Pacers. T.J. Warren and Miles Turner, leaning Van Fleet, Reggie Jackson, Clarkson, MPJ, Gallinari, Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, Leonard, Simmons for cash. I think that's solid. OG or Jingles, Joe Ingles definitely for me there. Kawhi and Jokic or AD and Paul George. It's going to be Kawhi and Jokic for me. Jeremy Grant, not a huge fan of Jeremy Grant, to be honest with. I think he's okay. Favorite play under 4,600. 4,600, let's see. Well, it depends. If you need someone in that price range, I think Marc Gasol looks pretty good. And then Kyle Kuzma or Reggie Jackson. Like, those are the three guys. If you go, again, you can go a lot cheaper too, but those three guys around that price range would be what I would look to. I can't fit Clarkson if I play Conley. Thoughts? I don't think you have to play Clarkson, but I do really like him for value. So I don't think it's a must. I'm trying to pick guys that will be in close games. Do you like Jeremy Grant? I'm not a huge fan of Jeremy Grant. I just like the guys that are the value more a little bit on Denver with Porter Jr., with Monte Morris, and I like getting into Jokic, so I don't want to go crazy with my Denver exposure. Ingram, Bam, or TJ Warren, AD. I'll go TJ Warren and AD, but that's a close one, not like a strong take from me. Thoughts? Ball, Clarkson, George, Porter, Embiid, Redick, Kuzma, and Jokic. Yes, Alonso's going to be low owned. I think that's just a GPP play. Definitely wouldn't play him in cash, but everything else looks solid, right? Redick, as long as he makes his threes, should be good. Ben Simmons or Ingram. Again, I think I already had that one. Maybe I didn't. Like Ben Simmons, Ingram, Jimmy Butler, they're all pretty similar to me. I think I'll go Ingram just because the matchup. Or the over-under, but yeah, that one's close to. I have Kawhi, so GPP question, PG-13 or Ingram. I think you play both Kawhi and PG-13. I do. So I would play them both, personally. Conley, Clarkson, PG-13, Kawhi, Porter Jr., Turner, Gallinari. Yeah, that looks good to me. You like Crowder, no interest. Miami's fully healthy. I don't think we have to do it on the slate. Spicy P in play, that's Siakam, right? I missed what you said live. I'm not huge on Siakam. Toronto's fully healthy. Gasol, Ibaka, Siakam. Lowry's healthy, obviously. Van Fleet healthy. 8-4. Just like, I'm not overly excited about him. Favorite Heat guard? Well, Jimmy Butler, if you consider him a guard. Other than that, I mean, I don't like the guards on Miami. I guess give me none, but I don't want to play any of them when they're this deep and fully healthy. Mitchell, SGA, or Conley and Bam. I'll go Conley and Bam there. Monte Morris, Clarkson, Kawhi, Porter Jr., Jokic. Yeah, I mean I have all those guys as well. I like that a lot. Turner, Van Fleet, or Warren. Turner, if you're worried about the foul trouble, which I am too, then go TJ Warren. I have Kawhi, Simmons, and Jokic as my locks in my lineups. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all solid to me, too. Since you don't like Lowry, do you like Morris and PG more than Lowry and Redick, what I had before? Yes, I would play Monte Morris and Paul George over Lowry and Redick, for sure. Ingram or Siakam for GPP. It's going to be Ingram for me. Thoughts? Dion Waiters. I think he's okay for value. They're going to run a 10-11 man rotation. He kind of has to knock down his threes, so that's more just a late slate play for me. Definitely, I wouldn't consider him on the main slate. Conley Morris, Paul George, Clarkson, Kawhi, TJ, AD, MPJ, Jokic, FanDuel lineup. Looks great, man. Let's see. Switch my lineup a bit. Morris, SGA, Butler, Siakam, Jokic, Clarkson, MPJ, Ingram. Yeah, so that's more just a GPP lineup, right? Because SGA and what was it? SGA and Siakam are guys that I think are decent, but will go low owned. Conley or Warren for cash. That's a tough one. I do like them both a lot. I'll go Conley for the discount, but I do like TJ Warren too. Thoughts on playing Jokic and Bam? I think you can. I do think you can play them both together. We are now at lock though. Let's see. Cash, Morris, MPJ, Clarkson, Kawhi, PG, Gobert, SGA. Morris, yeah, that's fine with me. Minutes for Serge Ibaka and Hollis Jefferson. So yeah, so minutes for Serge Ibaka with Gasol healthy. I think we get about 25 or so from Ibaka, so that's why I'm not super high on him. Hollis Jefferson might not even be in the rotation, maybe 5 or so minutes. Davis or LBJ for me. I'm going to go LeBron over AD. I think the ownership will drop on LeBron after the one bad game. Nikola Jokic, but like, thanks DK, hoping for a great day. Yeah, the slate is no problem, man. But the slate is a little bit ugly, right? We have a lot of solid defensive teams. I think it's going to be a really popular slate, right? There's a lot of ownership going to go on. The guys I've talked about: Conley, Clarkson, PG-13, Kawhi, Porter Jr., Turner, Gallinari. Oh, and forgot to say Harris as well. Thanks, DK. Yeah, of course. Thoughts on Harris? Are we talking about Tobias Harris? I don't really have a lot of interest in Tobias if that's the Harris we're talking about. Thanks for the help, man. You earned yourself a sub. Hey, thanks, man. Locked, let's get it. Helped me out big time last night. Yeah, man, let's see if we can keep it going. Bull 4.5% in my tournament. Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know what the minutes are going to be like for Bull. I think he might be in the rotation, and he's a guy that could win you a GPP. Let me go over some ownership real quick. I'm in the $55, the big tournament here. We have Monte Morris 51%, Michael Porter Jr. 80%, and Jokic 51%. I did play Bam as well at 8% owned. That's kind of my low owned play. Let me see if I can find ownership on any of these other Denver guys. Let's see. I mean, I'm just seeing a lot of Monte Morris, Michael Porter Jr., and Jokic. That's like all I'm seeing, at least in this $55 tournament. I wish there was like an easy way to see ownership for everyone in like the first game. Simmons, Reggie, PG-13, Clarkson, Tobias, Warren, Bam, Ibaka, Jokic. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, Tobias is a guy I'm not super high on, but I'm okay if you feel strong about that. Thanks for all your help. Yeah, no problem, man. Think Jackson Hayes or Josh Hart could have a sneaky good game. I think Josh Hart. I wouldn't go Jackson Hayes, but Josh Hart is a guy that'll probably get 20 to 25 minutes and kind of got to knock down his threes. MPJ high 50s. Yeah, simple entry on DK Bull 4.5. Okay. Thanks, DK. Let's get richer today. Hopefully, man. DK, I'm leaving 300 on the table in case I want to switch Simmons or Kawhi later. Yeah, good. Right? This that'll be like a game time decision for you. So yeah, that's fine with me. All right. Well, I think if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll get out of here. But it is important to follow me on Twitter, guys. I will give my thoughts as we get any more news throughout the day. So Twitter's in the description below. Make sure to follow me. Butler, higher owned than Morris in the 40K and one tourney. What tourney is that? Jimmy Butler, really? So let me go back to the $55 tournament. I haven't seen him I was scrolling through some people's lineups. I didn't see him in any yet. What's his ownership in that one? Just curious. I was trying to find him. Let's see. Torrey Craig's 21% owned. I mean, I'm good at that, but I just like the value a little bit more on some other guys. Millsap 8%. I guess I don't hate that. Bull 5. I can't believe Bull is actually in play today. It's just makes me laugh. Butler 29% in my 5. Okay, so yeah, I'm fine with Jimmy. I want Bam. I got Bam at 8%. That's kind of my low owned play because everything else is super chalky in my lineup. I got Clarkson, Paul George, Mike Conley, and Kawhi Leonard with Jokic, MPJ, and Monte Morris. So the key for my lineup is Bam at 8-1. Bam wasn't a guy I was like over the top on, but just kind of fit my roster build. It was like Bam, or I could have went like Jimmy Butler and left a little money on the table. So yeah, I guess I'll live and die by Bam today. What was your Twitter you were using for NBA lineup updates? Oh, so it's Fantasy Labs. Fantasy Labs NBA. Yeah, that's my preferred tool for starting lineups. They're really good. So Monte 23%, Butler 28% in the $1 tourney. I mean, Monte Morris only being 23% owned. That is way too low. Like he's gonna start. Sure, like Mike Malone could do something stupid and only give him like 25 minutes, but even so, like if Monte Morris only plays 25 minutes, he's min price and he's a point guard. I think he'll probably get at least like 15 to 20 fantasy points. So, yeah, Monte too low owned. I think so too. I mean, you don't. It's kind of like Popovich. You never really know with Mike Malone, one of my most hated coaches. But yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys all have a good day. And I will see you all. I'll have a video up for Sunday slate later tonight, so be on the lookout for that. But good luck, guys, and I will see you later.